Hollywood has lost its edge. The power is always with the people. Now, guys, I'm really excited about this video because it's something that makes me laugh and proves my point. Because I think when I say some stuff on here, I do sound like, how does that make any sense, right? How can we say the power's with the people when there's people in power? How can you say that I contribute as an individual person, as a human who's not rich or famous or powerful, like with some big title? How is my life and my decisions and what I'm doing contributing? And what I want us to understand, guys, is our existence is a group project always. And I'm going to show you guys, because the things I like to talk about, the reason why I always include what's going on in the world is because I'm trying to make everything as accessible as possible to you all. So rather than doing some deep philosophical dive where we all go out into the ether of thought, let's just observe the world that we're all currently living in together and discuss. So Hollywood has lost its edge. One thing that has been sticking out to me a lot, right, is the fact that, hold on a second, a lot of these like old schooler, and when I say old school, not like old, but just like people that their fame or their journey started maybe 15 years ago, like maybe when I was a kid, they're the types of people that like the adults around me were interested in, keep popping up in the most unusual spaces, right? So I'll give you guys an example, like Will Smith. Why am I seeing Will Smith on streamers things and doing this and doing that? Well, it's quite simple. Because we now live in a time where the attention, or rather the jury of the sheeple, has shifted from traditional television or radio as it once was, although it is kind of sad to have lost radio and things like that. I do think we're very oversaturated now with just stuff, which we're going to come to that as well. To a lot more things being online driven, whether that's things like your Netflixes and your Disney Pluses and your Paramount Pluses and all of that, your Amazon Primes, or it's your YouTubes, like where you people are watching me, which I think it's insane that people watch my YouTube videos on the television. If you guys are watching my video on the television, you're such a real one. You're such a real one for that, because I can't envision sitting looking at the television and I'm the one talking to you with my very low budget setup. But anyway, so, you know, our attention has shifted a lot. And like, that's why a lot of platforms now are expanding, because I noticed even on X, I'm not on X, but that people are writing longer posts now. I'm like, I thought you only had however many characters, but now it's like people are expanding. TikTok expanded the length of the videos. Instagram expanding the length of the videos. Everywhere we go, people are expanding. Twitch has taken off because the attention has shifted. And as such, the industry, and this is what I'm saying, that the powers of the people has to shift with it. So 10 years ago, when we first started with all of this, and I'm somebody who was always on YouTube. Like I started a channel when I was 13. I actually started my first channel on YouTube when I was 13. And then I took the first video down, which thank God, honestly, because it wouldn't have been good. I don't think. But like, I've always been a respecter of something like YouTube. So I've always respected, like, even, like I was thinking earlier, one of my favorite YouTubers is Trisha Paytas, and her story of how she came onto YouTube is so funny, because basically she needed somewhere to like upload a video for her audition, and she just happened to do it on YouTube, and she just happened to take off. She's been doing YouTube like a dumb amount of years, like well over like 15 years, whatever, and she's killing it now. Which again, why is she killing it? Why all of a sudden is Trisha Paytas on SNL and Trisha Paytas selling out shows? Somebody who 5-10 years ago everybody was laughing at. That's because the jury of the sheeple has shifted. And the jury of the sheeple has shifted, and even the people that 5 to 10 years ago had no respect for content creators now are becoming content creators themselves, right? So now these entertainment A-listers from back in the day, and I don't really think Will Smith is that back in the day, but you know what I mean? He's just an example of somebody that keep popping up, because like, I'll be real, I'll be so honest, I grew up watching the older generation literally kissing the asses of so many of these celebrities, to the degree that like, I didn't really want a part of any of it, because I was just like, this is cringe. Like, this is cringe. I'm all for appreciating talent. I'm all for supporting who you like. But then it gets to a degree where we are meat riding. I hate to use that as the term. That's such a crude term for me to use on a channel where I talk about God all the time. But it's the truth. I can't think of anything more accurate. So with people like him, for one, I remember, him being the Fresh Prince of whatever, and him doing his music and all this, that, and the other, although he turned down The Matrix, which thank God, because obviously that role was destined for Keanu Reeves. But also, like, at the same time, what a fumble. What a fumbling of the bag, because he didn't get the thing, right? He didn't get it. And that's kind of what I'm saying here as well, is that we all don't really get it, that at the end of the day, the entertainment industry, we're not running to the entertainment industry. The entertainment industry is running to us. They have to pander to us. They are doing everything for our sake. So even going back to Trisha Paytas again, she's one of my favorite people on the internet, right? And has been for a long time. Again, when she started out, nobody had any real respect for her because she would be crying on the kitchen floor, eating Domino's pizza and whatever. And that's why I loved her, because I thought she's so real and so humble. She would just be herself, and like, not like the A-listers, like I'm saying, who walk around pridefully and then we discover all these weird things that they've all been up to behind the scenes. I always respected people who are authentic more. And I feel like that's part of the shift. Like, people prefer something authentic. People prefer someone they can relate to, which is what actually came with the influencer age, if you will, that wasn't there with the A-lister age, where you watch these people, you go out to see their movies, you don't watch them in the comfort of your home, you go out, you get your popcorn, you get your whatever you get, right? You go out and then you see the film and it's a big kerfuffle. You hear about whatever's happening, you know what I mean? Times have changed, and people now, it's accessible, and also influencers are more accessible, so people feel more like they know the people that they actually, I should say content creators, because I do think there's a difference between being an influencer and a content creator. You can feel more accessible, and also you see more into their lives. And that's why even Beyonce had the issue, and a lot of them are having it, where they spend so much time being so distant from the public that now when they're trying to become more like hip, if you will, right, it's not working, because no one ever knew what you were doing. No one ever knew you like that, and you were always seen as this like above figure. So we're in this really interesting time now where I'm saying Hollywood's lost its edge. The edge before was that these people were people that lived lives and did things that seemingly were inaccessible. Whereas now I'm seeing Trisha Paytas doing exactly the same things that any of these other folks are doing, for example. And how did she start out? Crying on her kitchen floor, eating Domino's, going through hell, and oversharing everything. And now she's doing anything. I mean, she's even got TMZ. Back in the day, TMZ would be commenting. She was saying this on her podcast, which I listened to. She was saying that TMZ clipped her video because she talked about, and this is funny thing that you only know if you're aware of what's going on. I don't believe in reincarnation. I'll just say that. But basically, people believe that each of her 3 kids are all reincarnations of popular figures. And she did actually say in the clip, in the recent past, before the Pope had died, now, what if her 3rd baby that she's pregnant with now comes back reincarnated as the Pope? And it was kind of a thing. Similar to her baby before, they're like, what if that baby comes back and reincarnated as Queen Elizabeth, even though they all have iconic names, because one of them is Malibu Barbie, the one of them's Elvis, and they're trying to pick the final baby's name. Which again, for somebody like me, I'm so much more interested in listening to her, because I remember her crying in her house on the kitchen floor, talking about how the doctor told her she's almost no chance she's having a baby, to now 10, 15 years later, she's like having to get her tubes tied because she's on her 3rd baby that she accidentally got pregnant with. You guys kind of see what I'm saying here. So the attention has changed. And now I feel like, and again, it's always one thing I've been saying, I didn't really realize fully, is that I do feel like it's always the younger folks who kind of dictate where the attention is, because it's the younger folks who have the time. So when I was a kid, obviously, my parents were younger. They were like, maybe my mum was my age. Actually, how old am I? I would have been, at this age, if I was my mum, I would have been 2 years old at this age of my life, right? And my dad would have been, is he younger or older? Well, actually, it doesn't matter because I'm talking about my age. But anyways, nevertheless. But the point is, they were like, at my age, right? In their 20s, in their mid to late 20s, or in their just that whole period of time where the attention is always kind of swaying more to the younger audience, which I never thought about. But if you think about it, it actually makes perfect sense. That's why, like I've said, even like the Spice Girls were really popular, but the Spice Girls, their audience was all kids. a lot of people, when they got into the music they were into, they were really young at the time. And so now I'm out here watching Kai Cenat on stream because I like Kai Cenat because, again, he's humble, he's 22, he just makes videos, and he's one of the most hardworking people I think on the internet because he does these long streams for days on end, and he's consistently entertaining people for all this time, which I think is just absolutely insane skill level. So why is John Cena on there? Like the same person I grew up seeing like as some unaccessible, unattainable kind of person when I was a kid or when I was younger is now getting phantom taxed on Kai Cenat's stream. This is what I'm saying. Like the attention has shifted, and so Hollywood has to shift. That's what I'm saying, because the power is with the people, and the attention is with the people. That's why I even said to you guys about the Sidemen. I think about this all the time. When they go to raise money, their charity match, they rose nearly 4 million Great British pounds sterling. A group of 7 guys who made their accounts gaming on the internet and making dumb skit videos are outdoing. Why? Because of the jury of the sheeple is there. And that's why I'm using all these things to highlight to you. Why is Will Smith there? Apparently he's got some show coming up, and there's a lot of these celebrities, even Katy Perry trying to keep reviving. They're all trying to do CPR on their career paths. And it's just not working because they're just not relevant. They've lost their edge. When a lot of these people were famous, going to see stuff like when I talk about stories like with my parents or like the older generation about how things were, like how they used to do things, like how we wouldn't be just having a whole Netflix and a whole YouTube where you can get all this content. You would go to the movie theater, you would listen to the radio, all of these different things. Those times have changed. And so what worked before doesn't work now. And watching a Hollywood can be so freaking for real right now. It's like watching somebody try so hard to like overplay. It's like when I see people who are like when I hear statistics about businesses, because people will say, and just the same reason why sequels a lot of times are not as good as the original or whatever, because you start off with something that's organic and it's beautiful. And then you keep trying to recreate something, as we see in the entertainment industry. They try to recreate, this person is the next this person is the next that. All right, people are upset, like Tate McRae is the next Britney Spears. Why? I appreciate both of those women for what they do. And I never in my mind personally ever try to put them in the same sentence anyway, because why can't Britney have her era? Why can't Tate McRae have her era? But of course we have to compare, and people do this, like this is like what's the one that they did? She's just like Keke Palmer's, like Angela Bassett. Like, why do we have to do that? Right? It's because we're trying to recreate this nostalgic thing. And the other thing that made me think about it was how somebody was saying, I wish I remember where I saw this, right? How like nowadays movies the entertainment industry is almost like scared to put out new ideas because they're still trying so hard to repeat something that they feel like is successful. Hence why we keep having like the Disney movies coming back, the Barbie movie, the Minecraft movie. Like, why can't we do something new? They want to do the Rapunzel one, which is now, again, another story about whatever, because, you know what I'm saying? Or what was the other one I heard of? The Kool-Aid movie. It's like they're trying to pander to this audience that they've either lost or are losing by hitting on the notes of nostalgia, the nostalgias of it all. This is why, what do they call them? Biopics. Is that what it's called? Biopics, when you do like a movie that's like somebody that's died and whatever. Probably why they try to bring back like the Amy Winehouse movie and all this stuff. They're trying to like enforce something that was there. Like even this Will Smith thing, and this is what, it bothers me because he's one of those people that I never was a fan of in the slightest. Like I always thought that his character on The Fresh Prince, this is no judgment because we all have different likes and dislikes. His form of comedy isn't my cup of tea. Okay, I'm a dark humor girly. I like dark humor. The darker, the better. And yeah, he's a bit too kind of slapstick, like funny, young, whatever dude. Not my bag, right? But I was always happy for him. But again, even in him and his role, his whole pride and everything, and how he was seeing himself, a lot of these celebrities themselves, I believe, are shocked at how people are responding to them. Because I saw this with Jennifer Lopez, where there was like some TikToker or whatever. I say TikTok, I'm barely on TikTok, although I do have it now. But anyway, who was filming her and asking her questions as if she was just a random person. Like, you know, one of those like, excuse me, can I guess your career or whatever's? Yeah, I think it was actually that. And this person had no idea who she was. And you could see in her face, like, How do you not know who I am? I'm Jenny from the block. Okay? And this is again what I'm saying, that the attention has shifted. She was Jenny from the block. Well, that's been argued now because people are like, was she ever from any block? Like, the type of block she was trying to be acted like she was coming from? Was this a facade? Which again, because of the now of social media, people have access to doing more historical research. Hold on a second. And all of this, right? And all of that. And it's just funny because it's like, yeah, of course things are changing because the demographic has changed and the climate has changed. So the demographic and the climate is always going to change because we're always going to move forward because, like I've said about entropy, right? The adults of today, they probably don't have the time to go out to all the concerts the same way that they used to and go out to see this the same way they used to. Probably more focused on adulting because obviously becoming an adult means that you can't have any fun anymore, apparently. Which I'm not subscribing to that ever. I told myself as a kid, I'm not going to ever become one of these adults who's like, oh, I'm an adult now, so no. So who else is left? The younger people. Where the younger people is going to be in the next new form of technology, whatever that level of technology is. That's where the attention goes, similar to Mr. Beast. Why is he wealthy? He's not wealthy because all of the people in the 80s are watching him. He's wealthy because all the kids were watching his high performance, very short videos where every single second is planned to hold on to your attention. So who's going to be the most vulnerable to that? Of course, it's going to be the kids. And so now he becomes popular. And then you see like on the Mr. Beast games, like, I didn't even know who Mr. Beast was, but my son used to watch it, my daughter used to watch it, and then all these parents are like, oh, we didn't know there was money in this. And that's why now all of a sudden we have all these family channels and we have all these people, these adults making money. Now all of a sudden you want to put your business, you making videos at your lovely little, what you call it, your pizzeria that you own or whatever, for the same technology you had no respect for. Because the thing is, it was never that those people just had money or power or fame for nothing. It was always that whoever has the power, it's always the people, it's always where the people gather. If 100,000 people, if no one showed up to, I don't know, a Taylor Swift concert, for goodness sake, right? If no one showed up to a Premier League match, if no one was showed up to something in the NBA, you know what I mean? An NBA game, to the playoffs. There's nothing they could do because they rely on us to use our resources, our time and our energy, our attention for them to have what they have. So when that time, energy, and attention is lost, they have to adapt. That's why I'm seeing freaking, what's her name? Cameron Diaz. I'm watching one of my favorite shows, Kevin Lang. I love Kevin Lang, right? Again, historically, as far as the internet's concerned, he's just a dude that's making videos, dumb videos. 5 years ago, we called dumb videos. Nowadays, it's the same people calling them dumb videos, the same people making videos. Why is she, and I think it was Jamie Foxx, on a Kevin Lang video on their second channel? Why is that? Why was the Simon talking about how they nearly got Eminem in a video? Because now the people and the entertainment just doesn't think Hollywood has lost its edge. Because also, for a lot of people, no one cares really anymore about the prim and proper. Because also, again, even with the prim and proper, back in the day, it would be like, oh, Jennifer Lopez looks like this at this age. Oh my gosh, she's stunning. Oh, so on and so forth. Gwyneth Paltrow is still looking so like this. Now everybody knows that was all a fraud. It was all lies. Because you got the same girls on TikTok with 50k subscribers going to get the freaking lip filler. It's obvious that was what they were doing. Now that the content creators and the influencers who have built their careers off of being authentic and honest, well, I say that with a huge pinch of salt because there's a lot of lying that goes around, but there are a lot of people who have actually been honest. Now people are realizing, oh, maybe these celebrities didn't just have these perfect faces. Maybe they didn't just snap back after their pregnancy like that. Maybe they didn't just, have a receding hairline. Maybe they were getting all these procedures and they just weren't telling us. And this is what I'm trying to say to you guys about the power being with the people. The number one person that doesn't want you to realize how much power you have is the person that knows that you have more power than them. That's the truth. That's why I don't even believe in feminism, because men might run the world, but women run men at the end of the day. And who doesn't want us to ever realize that more than anything? Them. This is what I'm saying. This is how the world works. This is how the world works. The person who knows you have more power than they do is the last person to want you to realize how much power you actually have. So that's why we are sold this idea and this narrative that, oh, people in power, the famous, the A-listers, who's wearing what's hot right now, who's dating who right now. It's all to get us distracted, because in reality, the only reason why any of that matters is because we're looking at it. This is why I was laughing again about Trisha Paytas, because Trisha Paytas is like, she's on TMZ. I'm like, wow, once upon a time, you would have never heard of a YouTuber. Lest one who sat crying on the kitchen floor, eating a family's amount worth of Dominoes and going through all these issues on TMZ. But you know you made it, and you know you're making a thing when TMZ is out there. Because again, why does the paparazzi exist? So that the people can talk about it. That's why I laugh. I love listening to Patricia's podcast, because it reminds me of how the world is. They talk for all these hot topics. What's happening right now that people need to know about. So I'm not paying attention, but hey, I like her. And my attention's still there, so now I still know. I'm not tuning into TMZ. I'm not reading these magazines that have all these A-listers that are all, you know, again, half of them we now know, almost all, so many of them were on Epstein Island or Diddy Island or whatever else they were doing. This is what I'm saying. The power is always with the people. The power is always with the people, always. And it's just about convincing you. Like I said, whoever controls what you think controls what you do. If you now think that you're just less important, that's why I say our job as people, it's us collectively. Whatever we do collectively, it makes an impact. If 1 million people, do you know there's something? I think about this all the time. If 50% of adults in the United States of America, let's say 55 for all intents and purposes, right, decided we're not going to work if our taxes don't go to healthcare. So either include healthcare in our taxes or cancel healthcare insurance. I guarantee you, everyone, the government and everyone will have to shift, because the only reason they're getting away with it is because you're getting a part of the system, because no one's rocking the boat. And the problem is that only a few people rock the boat, then they'll just annihilate you. But how are they going to justify annihilating over half the country? And this is what I'm saying. The power is always with the people. Now we've got all the celebrities running like with their little sad, pathetic selves over to the same people they had no respect for 5-10 years ago to try and continue their clout, that's why Cameron Diaz and Jamie Foxx were on the freaking Kevin Lang show. But mate, their movie, first of all, I don't even think it was going to be in cinemas. It was going to be on Netflix. And I was thinking, do you know that they ruined the video for me. And I actually love Jamie Foxx. I think he's hella handsome. He's up there for me when it comes to the guys in Hollywood. And you guys know I don't find a lot of them very interesting to look at, because again, it's just the over airbrushing, and it's just just because I feel like a lot of them are just seen as good looking just because they're not actually that good looking. But that's a personal thing, you know, beauty lies in the eyes of the beholder. But like, as time has gone on, I've lost respect. So they're now here on some random YouTube channel promoting themselves. Why? Because that's where the attention is. That's where the attention is. You see what I'm saying? And so now when they're going on their press tours, even Will Smith and all these people and all these whoever else is, they have to be there. Because where are they going to get the attention if not? It's not where it used to be. And that's what I'm saying. All I wanted to say to you guys is that the power is always with the people. That's how it works. If no one was paying to see these people, if no one was showing up, if no one was following them, if no one was participating in what they were doing, they would have nothing. They only have nothing because everybody or enough people gather there. But if nobody was gathering there, it would be as good as unimportant. And that's why they get us to obsess over the narratives of what's happening amongst these celebrities, because then it keeps our attention like, oh, no way, so-and-so and so-and-so broke up. Ain't no way. Like, they have to. Because if they don't control our time, attention, resources, they have nothing. The power is always with the people. That's what I'm saying. So anyway, I'll leave that there. Because if life's a game, it's pay to win. God bless you all. God loves you. I love you. And I'll see you in my next one.